Well, this afternoon, the Ghana Online Drivers Union is kicking against the Ghana Revenue Authority's decision to reintroduce payment of vehicle income tax effective January 1, 2024. In a statement released on the 27th of December this year, the union threatened to withdraw their services nationwide if the Ghana Revenue Authority fails to conduct broader consultations before the implementation of the tax. On your screens now, you have a copy of that statement coming through and explaining what exactly the concerns of the group is. And we know that they indicate that we're not too happy about the directive because there was no consultation or collaboration with us as stakeholders, just like the way the Ghana Revenue Authority imposed a VAT of some 21.9% on our commission from the 1st of July 2023. Likewise, the app companies Uber, Bolt, Yango did not engage us before the implementation of the VAT on the 1st of July 2023. So the key issues they're raising is that there's no legislative instrument that regulates the ride-hailing sector as a commercial entity, and also therefore it is illegitimate to tax our operations now. We do not know how much or what the cost of the VIT is, and we do not know whether the update required by the Ghana Revenue Authority, the ride-hailing companies, will affect our work. These are some of the concerns being raised, and should this new directive by GRA and the failure of the app companies to engage before the implementation take effect, then we will advise ourselves with the following. First of all, the first option is the nationwide strike. Then the group says they'll follow through with the institution of some operational costs and charges on logical fares, and then they would also likely engage in price negotiations before embarking on trips with riders, and then they would also possibly consider a switch to an alternative preferred local app to promote made in Ghana goods and services. They're therefore appealing to the Ghana Revenue Authority to hold on to the implementation of the policy until a proper collaboration deepened with the union. So these are the concerns the group is raising. Francis Kweku Tenge is national chairperson of the Ghana Online Drivers Union, joins us via Zoom now. Thank you so much, sir, for spending some time with us. Key concerns you're raising there, but everyone knows that this has been passed into law already. It's likely to take effect from next year.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers. Well, it has been passed to law, but in every law there are exceptions, I can say that. So we are also hoping that this time around there will be some exceptions, because our work, as I said, or as we said earlier on in our statement, there has not been any legislation to officially operations as commercial drivers in Ghana since 2016.
And you know, you say that the possibility of a nationwide strike, that's how you're calling it. But what will be the implication, really? Is it the case that you'll not work on that day?
Yes, as at now, we don't know whether from 1st January 2024 our accounts will be put on hold. So usually what happens is that anytime there's an update on our driver's application, if you don't upload your document, or you don't update your document in your software driver's app, your account is being put on hold. You have to do it before you go to work. So we are waiting on 1st January 2024. Let's say from 12 midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. 1st January 2024, any of our members' accounts have been put on hold. Then we will actually have no options than to go on a nationwide strike.
Have you engaged the Revenue Authority already on these concerns that you're raising?
Officially, we are waiting for GRA to actually engage us, because we have sent them a copy of our letter. So we don't know who to actually engage. So should they receive it, they have to actually call us so that we can actually talk to the appropriate authorities. The GRA is a very big institution. You might be speaking to someone who is not actually a final decision maker. So we are just hoping that they will actually call us in an engagement, in a meeting, and then the right things will be done.
The feeling is that you're simply paying an indirect tax, or you are either just reeling under the effect of an indirect tax. Why are you not willing to, just comply simply deal with, for instance, the applications that you work with, Uber, Bolt, Yango, and all other ride-hailing apps?
Myself, I'm an accountant, so it is good to pay tax, and I know the importance of tax, what we use taxes for, and we support taxes. However, every driver in Ghana is already paying a value-added tax of 21.9% since July 1st, 2023. The reason why we are angry at this point was that when that was instituted first time, GRA didn't engage us. We were there and they implemented this. They are using the same means, the same medium. There's no involvement, there's no collaboration, there's no committee, there's no board, there's nothing. And as stakeholders who are working or who are using the platform, you're supposed to engage us. And so we are concerned. So what we are saying is that we're already paying a VAT of 21.9%. This is what happens. Because there's no regulation governing our sector, watch this, I want to give you the key. Now, Uber has included the 21.9% in its service fee. So we are paying a 20% per trip to Uber. So Uber is using that medium to collect the money to government. Now, Bolt, on the other hand, is taking the 21.9% directly from our earning. Yango, on the other hand, is not even taking any commission, any VAT at all. They said they are paying it to the government indirectly. We don't know how. And so because there's no regulations, some of the companies are really hiding behind the scene. I don't know whether they are duping the government or they're taking money from the government. How sure am I that we are over 20,000 drivers or 15,000 drivers? All the monies that are being taken actually goes to the government.
Yeah, but that should be government's business, isn't it, and not yours?
They are not doing the right thing. The right thing must be done. There should be a database. They should link the VRA needs to link its system to Uber, Bolt, and Yango. There should be a connection. You cannot just tell the driver to just pay and then they will not receive it.
So let me get you clearly. Who do you have a problem with government or the ride-hailing apps?
Both stakeholders. We have a problem with the government, that's the GRA, for initiating directives without engaging us. And then the app companies, who are also, on the other hand, don't consider us as workers. They just consider us as part-time contractors, independent contractors, not workers. So this is our concern. The government is supposed to come into the sector and regulate that and make us commercial so that we can become commercial workers.
The point about the service you're rendering, why not go independent then? If you feel that these applications you're using are not serving your interest, it's as simple as that. You have a contracted Bolt with Uber, with Yango, you could go off the platform.
To which of them?
Any of them.
If you don't, no, they are both, all of them are doing the same thing. So that's what you are saying that we
but that's exactly the point I'm saying. I'm saying that you're not tied or perhaps forced to engage in any sort of contract with these ride-hailing apps. They are more or less having a contractual agreement with you. If you feel that it's not working in your interest, why not go independent? You have the option of turning your vehicle into, say, a taxi, for instance.
No. Taxi, we are in a digital space now. The world has advanced now. Technology is good. You'll be at the comfort of your house, of your home. You request a vehicle. Straight up, a car comes to come and pick you to your destination, which is secure, which is fast and reliable. However, we are supposed to, there's supposed to be guidelines. There's supposed to be standards. That to actually, let me give you a typical example. Even commercial adverts with companies do in Ghana, billboards, it must be approved by FDA. But come to our ride-hailing sector, there's no, Ministry of Transport is not regulating it. And so Uber is operating how it feels like. Bolt is operating the way it feels at the expense of the drivers. As I speak now, we are paying different service fee, 20%, 25%, 18% and 12%, depending on how which partner you are driving with Yango. As I speak now, we are doing work and pay ×2. A car owner buys a car, maybe around 90,000 Ghana cedis, registers it, add insurance, everything is around 90,000, and double it to 180,000 Ghana cedis and give it to a driver to work. After working, and they will put in a contract, a clause in the contract that should you breach 2 weeks sales, the car will be taken from you. How can you be in a country? There's a sector you are watching, you are not doing anything about it. Drivers are going through this, we are already not happy. And so to come on board, come sanitize the system, let it be friendly, let it be economic. I say, we are the only sector that is paying value-added tax. GPRT is not paying, truck drivers, taxi drivers are not paying. Because our sector, you can control us, you can have access to data. And with data, you can process it, you can do so much with it. So the government is supposed to come on board, ensure that all these things are working in our favor before they come on board to tax us. So we are already paying a VAT tax, which is a concern, plus the service fee that which you are paying. At the end of the day, we the drivers, we don't even know how much vehicle income tax we are going to pay. Imagine it is 200 Ghana cedis at the end of the year. The car owners are going to push that to us, and our sales are going to increase.
If your concerns are not dealt with, aside the nationwide strike, you've listed a number of issues that you want to do. Now you want to negotiate with, those who come in for your services. The customers or those using the various ride-hailing apps. How do you intend to go about that?
So it's simple. Anytime a driver accepts a trip, drives to pick a rider and then completes a trip, then you are being charged a service fee. That is how the app companies make their money. Because they are refusing to actually acknowledge us, appreciate us, we are not going to use the app software to work anymore. We will accept the trip, we pick information from the rider, call them, negotiate with them and say, okay, you are going to maybe Accra, it's 45 Ghana cedis. Give us 50 or 60, then we go off trip. And so they will end up
but that's cheating, isn't it? And you're giving yourself away as a group, isn't it? What you intend to do. That you're bypassing the system now. Because they've also refused to recognize us as stakeholders since 2016. Right.
So this time around, we are now also going to match them boot for boot.
I see.
And that is that is exactly how we have to do now.
All right, Francis,
and so it is not friendly. And what I want to say is that we were not expecting to be here. We don't want to get to where we are now. You cannot do this in the US, in European countries, or in Russia, where Yango is coming from. They treat drivers as stakeholders. They are not even paying snitch for us. There's no insurance. There's nobody's paying drivers. As we speak now, drivers are not being paid. How can you be working for a company without being paid? Because we are not workers. Regulate the sector. Let us be receiving salaries from our car owners. And then we can also be paying these taxes, which you have already overburdened us already. And so we are not really happy. So should something like that happen, then we will advise ourselves. And then we know how to go about. Let me give you a typical example. We control Accra very well. Should a driver go on the road somewhere around Shiashi, will cause a little bit distraction. There will be so much traffic all the way to Lagos, all the way to Medina to Adenta. Those coming from the eastern region will be involved. Let me give you another example. If you go to Odoko, we can also hit Odoko, there will be traffic. We can hit Akramo, there will be traffic. We have so many ways that we can let traffic not really flow in Accra because we've been driving a lot. And so we don't want to be pushed to a place whereby we will be hit on the street. We can be in our vehicles, roll our cars on our air conditions and demonstrate on the street. But we don't want to get there. We just hope that GRA will actually engage us in a meeting and then we actually have a peaceful understanding.
I see. Francis Kwekutenge, thank you. The Ghana Revenue Authority has meanwhile been justifying the tax on ride-hailing vehicles, insisting it forms part of measures to widen the tax nets. Commissioner General Reverend Dr. Amishadai also Amwa says they also want to target persons operating in the e-commerce space.
Sometimes people should understand because it's the same people who say widen the net. And like we started, you said we are focusing on the same people all the time, and we are creating fatigue. And then when we are trying to widen the net today, say, why are you going to this area? Why are you going to this area?
But people are worried about the impact on the cost of living, because these firms would definitely pass on these costs to them. If without them, and you might be hitting your target, maybe let's excuse them.
So then where is the widening the net? So I think that is people should, and sometimes when they say these things, they said in 2 years in the come out some sort of thing. It's important that we deepen and widen the net. And if there are some industry players, some sectors that are not in, it's important that we keep on looking at it, because if there is somebody doing a business and that business is not on, for example, we talked about, in fact, one of the things that we put in our strategy is the emerging business lines, and bringing those emerging business lines into the tax bracket. And when I say emerging business lines, this the right-headed apps is one example. The other apps that people use to buy things is one example. And I can tell you that since last year we implemented the what do you call it, e-commerce registration. We have seen a lot of revenue coming from that point.
How much has it brought in? Not specific, but just the range, maybe not specific.
In fact, we're getting roughly about 800 something million as at the end of it. We just have to check.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But it has been significant, almost getting to $1 billion from that sector. I mentioned it at the last one of the events that I mentioned their figure. But the important thing is the fact that these are all business lines that are coming up. And sometimes they structure the committee that you see those things. I heard you in Enjoy FM, you say you are doing a program on is it betting?
Yeah.
Or there's something I heard
group about people,
about the fact that we are becoming so you are trying to look at that sector because you've seen that
you've already started applying some taxes in that area. Of course.
So that's what I'm saying. That so as the economy is dynamic and we see these changes coming, if you don't also become dynamic and open your eyes, when I say open your eyes, focus and build, we'll not be able to live. So we want Ghanaians to understand that we have heard their cry for us to widen the tax net. And so we are looking at the people who are not already in. So when we are bringing them in, they should appreciate it and clap for us for bringing them in, rather than saying, why are you bringing this one?
I think that
for example, the electricians, masons, artisans and those things, they are not in. When I say they are not in, I mean as the way you want it.
You cannot capture their work to tax them, this informal sector. Right?
Yes, and we are working on it. So when the time comes and we come out of the strategy of bringing them in, I hope we will understand that, and rather will say, oh, thank you for bringing them in. But as soon as that time comes, somebody will say, why are you going to them?
Let's look at the tax target in the 2024 budget and position to hit those targets.
I think so. I mean, it's an election year, but the target is 146 billion. In terms of the ability to hit that, I think that the measures we have put in place and the foundation that has been set is well able to meet that target. You know, as part of the IMF program, we have a medium-term revenue strategy. And this is part of the medium-term revenue strategy. And we think that we are on course and will be able to meet that target.
How has the compliance or the enforcement of the Ghana card itself also impacted on collections and being able to track individuals around?
Yeah, there's a lot we have to do as far as the Ghana card is concerned. So far, we have been able to reach out either through telephone calls or through visits or through text messages to roughly 400,000 people who were picked up from the Ghana card. And we are following up to make sure that they pay and also file. One of the things that is a challenge about which we are working on it is, as I said, is the compliance. Last year we were trying to look at, by something that we think we are working on it to see how we can make some government services, If you remember, if you talked about, I will not make some government services subject to you having a tax clearance certificate. But this has not been received yet. When I say received, it has not
approved.
It has not been approved.
Okay.
Yes. And that's one of the ways that we can make the compliance by design. So that if you and enjoying the service, you're supposed to have a tax clearance certificate. And today, what we have done is that the tax clearance certificate is actually automated in our system and can be pushed to every what do you call it, agency who if we do this compliance by design will be required to look into it. And once we are pushing it, there's even a technology now that ensures that when you push it, it doesn't become visible to the agent who is using it. So if, for example, if I push it to DVLA and you go to DVLA and DVLA say they want to check on you, so, they might not even need to see what is in there, but the system will just tell them. So the thing comes in a system that you don't see what is in there, but it tells you whether it is compliant or not. So to answer your question, yes, we are working on it, and we hope that we'll be able to be more effective to bring more people